Now, not only have you gone after Medicaid, not only have you gone after Medicare, in this,
you are to direct your comments to the chair.
Mr. Speaker, you know what's interesting is that every time I've come on this floor, I can use sharp language, he can use sharp language. You choose to admonish me. I don't work for you, sir. I work for the American people.
I understand.
I mean, seriously, this is exactly why I love this dude, man. He does not put up with any shit from anybody. And he fights for the American people like nobody I've ever seen before in my life. Don't you wish every single politician fought for the American people like this man, Hakeem Jeffrey, does? I mean, he is such a huge reason why I left the Republican Party, to find politicians like this that fight for your average Americans. Um, I love hearing this guy speak. Every hearing he's in and stuff, I'm always glued to the TV listening because he's such a powerful speaker. And for those of you that don't know, Hakeem Jeffries is obviously a politician. He's also an attorney. He's been the minority leader of the Democratic caucus since 2023. So I'm sure most of you guys have heard of him, but he is definitely, without a doubt, one of my favorite politicians in the House of Representatives because he's just so powerful with everything he says. And it's always, always in the best interest of the American people. And you know, one more thing I almost forgot to mention is that earlier this week, Hakeem Jeffries actually challenged Speaker Mike Johnson to a debate. But of course, Mike Johnson didn't acknowledge him. He's not going to debate him because then he would have to explain everything that's in the bill. And it is such a disgusting bill that is screwing over so many Americans, like I mentioned a few minutes ago, that he doesn't want to have to explain this to the American people about how they're cutting millions of Americans' insurance, their SNAP food benefits. I mean, all the way down to stupid things in the bill, like people that buy silencers for their weapons don't have to register them. One of the politicians the other day just said that the Virginia Beach killer, I'm sorry, who had killed 12 people, used a silencer. And because of that, when he started killing the people, some people in an apartment complex didn't even know where the shots were coming from because he used a suppressor. So the fact that people are now going to be able to use these silencers, suppressors, is just going to make it that much more difficult to track down shooters. And we have a lot of those in this country. I am a person that's for firearms. A lot of my family owns, I mean, my family owns tons of firearms, but that is just a stupid move. And I don't know why anybody would want that in a bill, to not have to register suppressors. That is just a mess waiting to happen and making it more difficult for our police officers in the future when there is going to be shootings. And you know there's going to be, because they're pretty much every week, some mass shooting every week. It seems like, definitely. So, anyways, let me just play the hearing, part of the hearing that was a pretty intense uh Hakeem Jeffries moment where he totally just ripped into this speaker. Um, and got nothing but respect for this guy. Again, I wish so bad that there was more politicians like him, but unfortunately there's not. But this is why, one of the reasons why I switched to the party where they are fighting for Americans. So anyways, let's jump into this.
For a long time, going after Medicare for a long time, and Elon Musk, who seems to function as your puppet master, has made clear his intentions, which you just follow as if you work for him. Elon Musk wants to take a chainsaw to Social Security, a chainsaw to Medicare, as you're doing in this bill, a chainsaw to Medicaid, as you're doing in this bill. Here's our message to you and the American people: no matter how long it takes, House Democrats are going to take a chainsaw to Project 2025 because it's not in the best interests of the American people. And what this bill represents is your effort to try to put into law Project 2025. You acted like you didn't know anything about it. This is why you have no credibility right now. You spent all of last year lying to the American people, saying to them that you were going to lower the high cost of living. In fact, you're doing the exact opposite. At the same period of time, you acted like you knew nothing about Project 2025, and this bill is an effort to try to implement it into law. So you mentioned credibility issues. I think it exists on the right side of this chamber. Now, not only have you gone after Medicaid, not only have you gone after Medicare, in this,
You are to direct your comments to the chair.
Mr. Speaker, you know what's interesting is that every time I've come on this floor, I can use sharp language, he can use sharp language. You choose to admonish me. I don't work for you, sir. I work for the American people.
I understand. House will be in order. As I said, Mr. Leader, we've been very patient. Just listen to the majority leader of the other side who directed all of his comments to the chair. It is important for the decorum of the institution for you to do the same. You may proceed.
We can continue this.
You may proceed.
And every time I'm interrupted, that's going to add another 15 minutes to my remarks.
Fair enough.
Mr. Speaker, so what we've seen is the largest cut to Medicaid in American history, an effort to devastate Medicare. And of course, what this bill also does is strip away some of the coverage provided by the Affordable Care Act. Millions of people will lose their coverage as a result of this GOP tax.
So yeah, if that is not a badass politician, I seriously don't know what is. This man is just a badass. I mean, just plain and simple. And the sad thing is that he fights for all Americans, even the ones that hate him, even the ones that hate the Democratic Party. And I wish Republicans that are on the fence and have reservations about Trump and his administration, now that they are starting to show their true colors, these Republicans should know they don't have to be a Democrat. They just have to love America. And as long as they do that, they could join the huge amount of Americans now that are wanting to resist this Trump administration because it is unprecedented, it is dangerous, and I mean, the best way to know what's going on is you just got to pay attention. There's just no other way to put it. I watch these hearings on a daily basis. Every time they have one, I'm one of the weird guys that watches those. I know they're I remember when I was younger, I used to be like, that was boring. What is they doing that for? What? That like I used to hate them. And now I watch them almost every day because I want to be informed and I wish more Americans were like that. Trump supporters are definitely not like that because they say completely different information than what is actually going on. And it's because Donald Trump and his administration, they will say one thing to their supporters and like this bill, try and pass a bill that is completely different than what they campaigned on, and it's despicable and dangerous. And there needs to be more people that wake up and get informed. There's just no other way to put it. So, anyways, that's gonna do it for me, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.